Hi, I'm Charlotte Hu, and this is my digital media personal inventory for my communications class in a master's degree program in Regent University. So for this assignment, I am supposed to inventory all of the digital communication technology that I use in my personal and professional life and analyze three aspects of the interaction: whether it's useful or in what way it's useful, consider the amount of time I spend, and consider the effects of the technology on my personal and professional life. So it would be a little difficult to go over all of the digital publishing technology that I use because I spent the last decade as the Chief of Public Web for the Air Force, so I have tried to use every possible communications technology that exists. And so for the purpose of the paper that I wrote that corresponds with this presentation, I focused on two core elements that help my professional life the most, and that is audiobooks and the news apps that I have on my phone. So I have long been a kind of fanatic for audiobooks because I want to consume as much information as I can with the least amount of time possible. And reading a standard paper book is slow and cumbersome, and also I can't do that when I'm jogging or driving or have other activities. So one of the things that I started very early in my life was books on cassette and later books on DVD, and then I fell in love with Amazon's Audible, so because it's considerably cheaper to get audiobooks on Amazon's Audible. So now I listen to books on a regular basis. With regard to time, the app says that I've spent about a month and a half listening to audiobooks, but the problem is the app only tracks what I'm listening to on my iPhone. It doesn't track it across all of the platforms. I would love to see if Amazon can improve those metrics, but I listen to audiobooks from the computer, from the smartphone. I can access that technology from pretty much any internet connected device, my daughter's iPad, etc. So that technology, it's available to me. It's almost ubiquitous, and I'm looking forward to the expansion of voice user interface technology so that my audiobooks will be truly ubiquitous. They'll be with me at all times. Then the news apps, I make a special point to get news apps from around the world, from Australia, from England, US, Canada, Asia, so that I can get news from different viewpoints. And the most exciting thing that I've been thinking about most recently is direct democracy. So we have the most amazing experiment in human history, in my personal opinion, in the democratic government structure that we have created. But we use representational democracy because there's just 330 million of us. How could we possibly all get to one public square and discuss something and vote on something? But I think that the technology is available now that we could begin in a very small experimental stage to get direct democracy in a very innovative way. So I have a dream that I'd like to create a platform which would allow people to put proposals into the US government with regard to regulation reform or new regulation that they'd like to see. And since you need to start small with something like this, set my sights on the TTB, it's Alcohol Tax Trade Bureau, an agency of 480 people, very small government agency that's responsible for the regulations involving alcohol and tobacco. And what's unique about those people, the beer industry, I didn't realize, is actually not run by Anheuser-Busch, which is what I would have expected. It's predominant by microbreweries. And people who run these microbreweries, and even people who consume beer from microbreweries, they're kind of fanatics. They're really enthusiastic about what they're doing. So I think that that community would love a chance to get involved at the ground level of making the regulation for what they consume and produce. And historically, the standard method by which we do regulation in the US is we draft the regulation and then we put it out for public comment. But allowing the public to actually get in on the drafting stage could radically change the equation. And I think it would do a couple of things for the government. One, it would reduce the workload that the government has to spend in manpower and money to produce the regulations. And two, I think it would give people direct access. The power to the people. That's really what we're all about, what the entire experiment of the United States government is all about, would have the chance to actually shape and direct where the regulation is going according to what they think it should be. Now, I don't know if this would have pitfalls. I'm sure that everything will have pitfalls, but I would love to give it a try and see where it leads us, where the digital publishing technology can take democracy. I'm really excited about the idea. Thank you for listening.